Uncut Gems is the latest headache from the Safdie brothers. Now, I'm gonna use a lot of negative language to describe this movie, and I want you to know that while I am using this negative language, it is nothing but praise. This film is fantastic. Period. This movie tells the story of a jeweler played by Adam Sandler and how he makes terrible, terrible decisions. And that's honestly all I want to tell you about the film, because if you just go in knowing that, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with everything that happens. This film is impossibly intense. Like, I want you to think of the most that you've cringed at a film. Maybe it was Dunkirk, maybe it was Saving Private Ryan. This movie has the intensity of a war film and being on the front lines, but all that's happening is terrible decisions. In most films, we have, a tension build and then some release. We deal with events one at a time. In this film, they just keep overlapping and piling on until there is this unbearable sensation of weight on the shoulders and the chest. If you drew the minor story arcs in this film, it would just look like a bunch of scribbles across a page. This is executed so well, I don't think anyone else could have pulled this off. And just because the main character makes horrible decisions doesn't mean this is an idiot plot either. I mean, he is an idiot, but the decisions that he makes make sense for his character. Okay, let's start by addressing the elephant in the room here. Adam Sandler is ridiculous in this movie. I have never seen him act this well. I haven't seen Punch Drunk Love, which I hear is his other really good performance, but I've only seen him in shit like Grown Ups and Jack and Jill. God forbid I ever have to watch those again. I've never seen him this committed. He disappears entirely into his character. Like, he shadowed jewelry deals for 2 or 3 months before they started filming. It was a completely foreign sensation to me to say, hey, I'm not watching an Adam Sandler movie anymore. I'm watching Howard the jeweler go through his terrible decisions. He completely dissolved into this character. And while I was looking forward to Sandler's performance more than anyone else, everyone did a really good job in this movie, despite how bizarre the casting is for this. Like, you have Adam Sandler, but then you have Kevin Garnett, Idina Menzel, Julia Fox, who's a first-timer and does great in this, Mike Francesca, The Weeknd. I don't know what kind of magic juice the Safdie brothers are feeding the cast on set, but everyone definitely pulls their own weight. I guess if I had to gripe about anything, it would be the child actors, and even then, they do pretty decent, and I can't really evaluate them the same as I evaluate actors like Adam Sandler. The performance that surprised me the most, though, had to be Kevin Garnett. As far as I'm concerned, this is the first time KG has done any acting ever. He dismissed himself in an interview saying, "I was literally playing myself. How could I not be good?" But, dude, you did so good. Have you seen people that did voice acting for NBA?
Who have thought
About what?
that a young buck like you could actually do the right thing and avoid getting his sorry
I had a
butt kicked
teammate
out the
hold me
game?
back.
He fit right in seamlessly. Other noteworthy performance probably belongs to Lakeith Stanfield. He did great as always, and he was a little underused, but I guess we can let that slide. There's many moments in the film where the dialogue overlaps with one another, and we get this super chaotic sense of confusion and dismay. And then you add to that there's this sense of claustrophobia in all the shots. They're all super tight, very close. You can often see the sweat on Adam Sandler's forehead and all the pores on his face. And the only time that the camera really zooms out is to give you a sense of how chaotic it is beyond Sandler's view. Like, you get moments where it zooms out and it shows how massive the crowd is and how loud the crowd is, and you can't even hear Sandler's dialogue anymore. And then you see how many people that he's pushing his way through, and it just slowly pans out, letting the unease rise. And I start to realize this more and more through all the little things that the Safdie brothers do with their directing style in both the script and the shots. So much is done to make you uncomfortable. Almost everything in this film has the goal of making the audience feel uncomfortable and just pushed out of their seat. There's also some subtle economic class commentary going on, where the film starts with something, you kind of forget about it, and then a character brings it up about halfway through the film, and Adam Sandler completely dismisses it, like, no, don't worry about it. It was very interesting to think about seeing the film for the second time. Like I mentioned before with the multiple arcs, the story in this film is very strong. It's like gigantic stone clockwork. It's just grinding, and it's harsh, but it all works together seamlessly. Now, I'm not going to spoil the ending because that's not what I'm here to do, but I'm going to tell you that the ending is going to upset some people. It's going to divide the audience. Some people are going to like it a lot. Some people are going to hate it. I didn't like it on my first viewing. I understood it much better on my second viewing, and I'm very happy with it now. I don't think it could have ended any other way. Oh, and I can't forget this. One O Tricks Point Never on a soundtrack is always something that I like to see. He gives the film this incredible and lucid tone. It's almost like a dream state where the tension keeps building, but it's surreal. Yeah, I don't think I have any complaints about this film. There was one shot that I disagreed with. There was a singular shot that I disagreed with in this film, and everything else was virtually perfect. Uncut Gems is disgusting. Uncut Gems is disturbing. Uncut Gems is one of the most uncomfortable and unforgiving experiences I've ever had watching a film. I cried because I was so stressed out. I wasn't sad for anyone or anything happening in the movie. I was sad for myself. That's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and I totally understand that. But for me, a film pushing me to those emotional limits is exactly the reason that I watch film. I cannot think of anything other than praise to give to this film. And so for those reasons, I think today we can give Uncut Gems a 10 out of 10.